you gorgeous people of the interwebs. I hope you're having a fan-dabby-dozy day today. Today we're jumping on to part 3 of my Q&A because you had a lot of questions and I had a lot to answer for. I hope you enjoy this part 3. And how are the kitties? They're okay. It's been a bit of a week for them again, but because we've been having so much work done on the house, they have just, their confidence has taken a bit of a knock. They're little scaredy cats. They hide. They don't like hearing voices. They don't like noise. They're lockdown kitties. We brought them home during lockdown. As far as they're concerned, there are only 3 things in the world that exist. Us, as in me and the lion, their garden and their house, and that is it. And with the weather being up and down quite a bit, they've been inside and shouting at us going, "It's raining, Mum, it's raining, I want to go outside and play, but it's raining." Daisy is very much a fair weather cat. Lily doesn't mind the rain quite so much. They love running around in the garden, bug hunting in the garden, climbing trees, and just doing that general kind of cat stuff. We're moving on to the second part with Lily and her rehabilitation. We've been in touch with a rehabilitation centre in Colchester, and they've got all of her records now and they're ready to see her for her first appointment. We weren't going to dive straight in. The specialist who did her MRI said we should just leave her for a couple of months and just let her recover as much as she will on her own. She's not on any medication anymore, and then we'll start the physio. So we're going to book that initial consultation and that initial session in very, very shortly. But otherwise, they're just bloody adorable and we loves them. We loves them. Marjorie Moy 3823 asks, how are your kitties? I hope that update there was good, Marjorie. Is the kitchen renovation done? And I enjoy your M&S hauls and styling. Thank you very much. I enjoy doing those as well. The kitchen renovation is, well, I wish it was a full renovation. I had plans for that room. I wish it was a full renovation, but the floor is in and we've still got a little bit of painting and stuff to do. But I will do a proper update and take you through the process and what we went through and everything there. But it's just never ending. There's always something else that needs to be built or changed or painted or something. So it's probably one of those things that will never get done. So I'm going to have to draw the line somewhere and share the update with you. M&S are killing it at the moment. My palazzo jeans, I've got them hanging up in here. They don't even go in my wardrobe. I have them in my office, my bag room of dreams, because I'm in and out of them all of the time. There's no point putting them in a cupboard. They just live out here on my rail. Yes, M&S. I'm loving M&S at the moment. And very handy for me to order because I can pick up my orders at my local supermarket, my M&S supermarket, and anything that I need to return I can drop off there as well. So very, very handy. And I do enjoy it when I get to go to the mega M&S in Colchester and have a proper little try on in there. I'm glad you enjoy those because I enjoy doing those as well. I like mixing up the sort of high street and the high end kind of flavours together. Lordy, I don't know. So many questions. I'm so sorry this is taking so long. Claire W9351. Do I think my luxury taste has evolved or changed since being on YouTube? If so, why do you think it has? And in what way? So, the reason I first started doing anything with YouTube, because honestly I didn't see what the fuss was about. I didn't know why people would want to watch videos of other people doing stuff, and here I am. Was initially the reason I went on was because I wanted to look up reviews of things like my Alexander McQueen pink bag, which was like my only colourful bag for a long time. Well, obviously I've got my Mulberry purple, but my only real colourful bag. I went looking for a review, couldn't find one, so it's one of the reasons why I started my own channel, to put my own review of a bag that I thought everyone should know about out there. So I started looking at YouTube for bag recommendations, reviews. I always like to, I'm not a big risk taker, so I always like to try and research as much as possible. I can research the fun out of anything. My taste has definitely evolved and changed, whether you'd say it's evolved or whether you would say it's just changed. I'm much more into my colour. I'm much more less focused on one brand. Like, I'm not all about Alexander McQueen anymore. I'm not all about Louis Vuitton anymore. My tastes have been expanded as I've been introduced to new things by new people, some of whom I call friends now, some of whom are just still people that I watch on the interwebs, but I mostly just watch my friends on YouTube because I'm interested in what they've got to say. So yeah, colour. Not being afraid of colour quite so much. I have got a video coming up soon about what having pink hair has done for my wardrobe choices and my style, because that's had a big impact as well. And yeah, definitely in terms of appreciating a wider variety of brands, we can go down a bit of a rabbit hole on, and obviously the big channels are doing like big Hermes, Chanel, that Louis Vuitton. Those are the things that people watch loads of. And there is more out there. And it can get a bit boring watching the same thing over and over and over again. So having a bit of variety and seeing lots of different brands and lots of different styles from within the brand, yeah, that's been great. That has had an impact on my personal choices, and I've been more interested to try things. I would never have looked at a Loewe puzzle bag if it hadn't been for Connor in the closet. And I'll have his channel linked below as well, because yeah, that was just an introduction that I would never have made it to myself. So I hope that rambling answer did actually answer. Jack of Jack's Bag Attack, I'll have her channel linked down below. What bag style do I love the look of but just does not work for me? I'm going to say it's a rucksack. Really is a rucksack. The Louis Vuitton Petite rucksack thing, can't remember the name of it. Really, really love it. Undenied about that. 4 years. Still would quite like it. I'm never going to use it as a rucksack. Yeah, rucksack, I find they get too hot under my arms. I don't like wearing them not as a rucksack, because then why have you got a rucksack? And there are some beautiful rucksacks out there. I mean, even Chanel does some really pretty rucksacks. Beautiful rucksacks, but it just doesn't work for me, no matter how much I want to love it. Nana F, Pam, if you had the opportunity to live in another country, which one would it be? I know the Lion would say straight off the bat, States. He would love to live in the States. I don't want to live in the States. I love Africa. I'm a big fan of Africa. I've been north, south and west. I haven't been East Africa, but I love it. I just love it. South Africa is like a world of its own. It's so beautiful. A tiny little thatched cottage on a beach with a sheer cliff face behind it. Beautiful weather. Just the most. Yeah, Africa. Africa all day for me. Absolutely love it. Sarah Duncan 1549. Love your content. Where are you planning to go on holidays? We have not had a holiday since our US road trip in 2019. This trip to New York is going to be our first holiday. It probably will be the only thing that we do this year. I'm sure there's another question on there, but I can't see it, Sarah. What's going on? Why are you not showing me this other question? So, sorry about that. Got completely distracted. Technology. Amazing. Yeah, so our trip to New York may be our only holiday. It's more difficult with the girls because we're not going to put them in a cattery, hence interviewing for a cat sitter earlier this morning. So hopefully if they get on with her, then it'll free us up to go on a few more holidays and we'll be able to go out and about and do things. But the house really is taking up everything at the moment. I can't see, it says there's a little reply in there. And I know I haven't replied to any of these because I didn't want to let any cats out of any bags, and it's not showing me what the reply is, so I'm assuming that was another question, Sarah, so apologies that I didn't get to see it and answer it. Sarah Morales 165 says, hello from across the pond. Hello. What is the funniest prank you've ever done, seen or been a part of? Sarah, you're going to think me a real party pooper here. I don't like pranks because there's always the person that's being played on, and I don't like that. It makes me feel bad for that person. So yeah, I'm not a pranky kind of person. Sorry. Shazdu asks, are you happy you moved and do you miss your old house and area that you lived in? Yes, we're happy we moved. Sometimes I miss the house. I mean, our house is fabulous. It really is fabulous. I do miss the house sometimes. I don't miss the area it was in. It was noisy, it was busy, it was... smelly is not the right word, but the air is definitely clearer where we are because we're in the countryside now. The things I miss are the amenities that we had close to hand. I miss John Lewis. I miss some of the restaurants. I miss friends being there in the same town. But on the whole, Shazdu, no regrets. No regrets with moving. Jean Moore 3804 asks, which 4 people, alive or dead, would you invite for dinner with you and the lion? Oh, I don't like these questions because 4's too many and also not enough. And I think I say this every time I'm asked this question. I don't know. It would be people that I would... people that I just want to get to know, I think. So maybe writers, comedians, actors, anyone that... I mean, David Bowie, 100%. David Bowie, yes, yes please. And Peter Gabriel. But then I'd end up going down a whole musical route. Kate Bush. You know, I'd end up going down that whole musical route and then I would miss out loads of other people. Terry Pratchett. Yes, I'd love to have dinner with Terry Pratchett. Stephen Fry. There are just so many people. And also, yeah, there are just so many people. I genuinely can't answer that question. Becca Cam asks, I've recently bought the same shoe stretchers and finding them a bit hit and miss. Been okay with leather flats, but not so good with sandals. Are they working for you? I think I answered this one actually on the thing. I think it all depends on the material. I had a pair of leather trainers that were just so painful for my wide little trotters. Used the shoe stretchers, stretch them perfection. Well, stretch them perfection. And they've been absolutely perfect. I have struggled. I've tried using them in my DMs, but my DMs are less forgiving. So they've not worked quite so well on that leather. Trying to stretch out my little June sandals at the moment. And they're taking a bit of effort, but I think it's all more down to the material you are trying to stretch than the stretchers themselves. So I say persevere with them. Jack's Bag Attack. Oh, your questions got split out in the comments section, Jack. Has shopping changed now that you moved to a smaller town? Yes. Yes, it has. I'm relying more on online shopping, which fills me with the heebie-jeebies because I worry about things getting stolen on the way here. Meredith has just had a whole thing with DHL stealing some of the bags that she was selling through Connor's channel, through Connor's Consignment Company. I also had and I'll link this video down below, I ordered a thing from Louis Vuitton and I was told it had been delivered and it hadn't, so I immediately went in, raised an issue with Louis Vuitton. They raised it with the delivery company, and then within an hour I had a knock on the door saying, oh, here's your package. And I thought, mate, you nicked that, and because I was able to prove you hadn't been here, because we've got a ring doorbell, not a ring doorbell, but we've got a video doorbell, I was able to prove that you hadn't dropped it off and you signed for and everything. And Louis asked to see your driving licence and all that kind of stuff when they do a delivery. So yeah, so that gives me the heebie-jeebies. It's changed as well because I used to be 25 minutes from London and I'm now more like an hour and 25 minutes from London, and then I've got to get across London to the places I want to shop. So it's much more of a, has to be much more of a planned event to get in. And locally, there's just no luxury stuff locally. But it has sort of reignited my love with Marks and Sparks. Don't even have a John Lewis locally. I have enjoyed popping into Colchester and going to Phoenix because they've got different brands from the ones I'm used to seeing in like Harrods and John Lewis and things like that. So yeah, there have been upsides, but mostly it's been more difficult to shop. And I am someone who, I can go and do I can do a full day. I can put in a good 8-hour stretch of shopping, come home completely empty-handed, and still feel utterly fulfilled by the experience. So actually, the act of shopping in itself, not just handing over the card and coming away with a bag, but the act of shopping itself and wandering around the shops is a big joy for me, and it is harder to do now. So maybe I enjoy it more when I do get the opportunity. And my mum asks, when will we see you next? Well, when are you next going to come for a visit to the seaside? So yeah, the door is always open, Mama. And Carl Clark 7555 asks, when am I going to get the big summer hat out? When it becomes summer. Those are my answers to your questions. I'm so sorry it's been a long one. If you are still here, then pop a little cat down in the comments section, and I appreciate you sticking through this. I will try and do these more regularly, because then it will be like a shorter, more concise video for you, but I'm pretty open book, so ask me whatever you want to ask next time. And like I said, if you're not already subscribed to the channel, you're not going to see when I put out the community post to say ask me a question. So subscribe, then you'll get to see the community post and you'll get your chance. So I hope you've enjoyed this video. I am going to try and edit it and get it out tonight for you, and hopefully I'm going to be able to go